This is a very delicate and complicated situation, and this is probably one of the most complicated videos I think I've ever had to make since starting my YouTube channel, because of just the offers in question and what this entire topic is kind of about. So, to get right into it, late yesterday, there was some information that was released by Weekly Shonen Jump that stated Oda, the author of One Piece, was going to be having an interview with Watsuki, the author of Kenshin. Now, if you're unaware of, let's say, both series, both authors, which I highly doubt many of you are unaware of Oda and One Piece, but it's likely some might be unaware of who Watsuki and Kenshin is, basically, there is a history between these two individuals. Oda apparently was an assistant underneath Watsuki a very long time ago, and Watsuki was kind of like a mentor figure to Oda that kind of opened the way, or opened the door for Oda to eventually get One Piece in Weekly Shonen Jump. So you could kind of say without Watsuki, maybe Oda might not have had as big of a start as we know, and actually written one of the most beloved series of all time, which is One Piece. So, to kind of backtrack here, to kind of give some context to this entire story, many are probably looking at this like, okay, so this is an interview between two creators of manga. Why is people wanting to cancel Oda? Well, back in 2017 and 2018, Watsuki was found guilty of lolly content. Now, I can't really get into details on this because of YouTube, so I'm just gonna say you can do yourself a favor and just look up the offer of Kenshin and you'll find out for yourself the entire story. I will show and talk about as much as I can, but it's pretty obvious to kind of put things together and understand what Watsuki did in 2017 and 2018. And then that news came out, series put on indefinite hiatus, and after, some legal fees of only just $2,000 US, he was free. He didn't even really have to serve any jail time or anything like that. The man was able to just walk away scot-free. And this is usually, if it was in Western society, this is where his entire career would be ashes, rubble, when he walked out of this entire situation. For instance, he would have nothing left. Everything would be gone. Like, his relationships, to his job, his career, everything, every connection he has within the industry would have been gone right after that in Western society. But obviously, there is definitely more going on here than meets the eye, because he had like a wrist slap, let's say. He didn't really get in trouble at all, pretty much. Only a $2,000 fine and no jail time, and apparently Weekly Shonen Jump decided to allow him to continue to write his manga in their magazine, or at least Shueisha, correction, allowed him to continue writing his manga in their magazine. Now, I'm just going to be completely honest. That's sickening and revolting. I'm not even going to try to sugarcoat my opinion. I'm going to be honest, that is disgusting. To allow someone that did that stuff to continue to write for an audience that we know what it's catered to. So just like, are you serious right now? Are you serious, Shueisha? Are you serious? But, there's more here, though. Now, we're in 2020, and we obviously know now in today's society, anime and manga are more connected to the entire world than ever. For instance, what we saw last month with Horikoshi and what happened with him technically show just how connected manga and anime really are to the entire world now. It's mainstream. So, the thoughts of a certain audience in a different part of the world separate from Japan really does matter now. And even if I don't agree with what happened last month, it just goes to show, though, that, there is definitely a lot of connections now around the world for this medium that we all know and love. And it's because we're so connected now that obviously there can be radical effects on certain things depending on what steps you take as a writer in anime and manga. So, to kind of explain though, basically, in this age, we have a lot of cancel culture, and I'm gonna say I'm not really for cancel culture. I don't like it, I disagree with it, I think it's just awful to ruin someone's entire life over maybe one thing they said maybe 20 years ago. Now, do I think that someone should be pointed out for, being a hypocrite or, be pointed out that they did something wrong? I think they should. I do think people should be pointed out when they make mistakes or something happens. But do I think that something for 20 years in the past should define who they are for the rest of their life? Not really. However, there is some lines, obviously, that you can kind of factor into this, but overall, though, I don't really agree with cancel culture, but I do respect some of the things it does do when it points out people that really do need to be pointed out, like some of the things that happen on YouTube from time to time. The interview, obviously, is complicated because Oda is having an interview with Watsuki, the author of Kenshin. And as I already clarified, Watsuki is the mentor to Oda. And that's just it's a big, what? And to see Oda actually having an interview with this man after everything, despite everything, is kind of disgusting. I'm going to be honest. That's my personal opinion. However, just because he's having an interview doesn't mean Oda is condoning what Watsuki did. That is a big point that needs to be driven home, though. I don't think if you have an interview with someone, it instantly means you agree with that said person or what they have done. I want to clarify. However, Oda having the interview and basically Weekly Shonen Jump and Shueisha having this interview or letting this interview happen, probably being the ones to set it up in the first place, is what truly is disgusting about this entire situation. It's just why would you continue to associate with someone that has done this and giving this man a platform to talk to the very people that got him into trouble, when you think about it, what he's kind of looking for. So it's just why? Now, there's so much more to this now. Now, obviously, Oda is being thrown under the bus. Shueisha and, Weekly Shonen Jump, they're being thrown under the bus right now thanks to everything. But there's more information that came out. And honestly, I was completely unaware of this until one of my friends told me on social media, and I take no credit for finding this whatsoever. The creators I'm about to mention, the people I'm about to throw under the bus, they are creators I really do respect, and I love their works, etc. But it would be unfair to the people that are first time hearing this story, but also not really saying the full picture. I'm not going to sit here and try to defend people that kind of look a little bit suspect. I'm not going to do that. I'm really not. So last year, you had it to where a bunch of artists got together to do a quick mini sketch for the author of Dr. Stone. And the reason why this mini get-together happened was because the author of Dr. Stone was my son likes Weekly Shonen Jump manga, he respects a lot of these artists, so he wants, to see them. He wants to see these writers he looks up to. So obviously the writer of Dr. Stone asked everybody to come over. They had a get-together, a little party, etc. A greet and all that. Friends coming together. And the individuals that were invited was Oda, we have Horikoshi, we have Kishimoto from Naruto, Matsui from Assassination Classroom, we have Suzuki from Mr. Full Swing, and then Watsuki himself, the writer of Kenshin, was there, a part of this party. Now, obviously, I don't need to say what's kind of wrong with this entire situation, because this takes place a couple of years after the events of what happened in 2017 with Watsuki, and they, or at least the author, we don't really know exactly the situation of this party. We don't know who invited who. Well, we do know that the author of Dr. Stone, at the very least, started this, but for all we know, maybe Watsuki invited himself to this party, or someone else brought him alongside, or he just found out and showed up. We don't really know the details to this. However, Watsuki was a part of this party that was to write sketches and, basically give a little portrait to a little boy that respected these mangaka. Am I the only one that kind of sees something wrong with this entire image? Hopefully, I am not the only one. So, to make a long story short, this popped up now thanks to this entire ordeal going on, this issue, this drama going on, and it's wow. Like, why didn't nobody talk about this? Why did no one mention this last year? I was completely unaware of it, and now seeing this, it's like, it paints the story of this interview with Oda a little bit differently. But, as I said, we still don't know the full context to this party either. We don't know who invited who, we don't know exactly how he came about being in the party, but it doesn't change the fact, though, that they still had the party and they were all there. So I'm not defending anyone. I'm just saying I want to give the details like they are. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible in this situation at the current moment before I give my opinion. And there's just so many sketchy things that is basically with this situation that's just like, why? Just like, why? So, yeah. That's pretty much the issue right now. Is that Oda is having an interview with a very man that may be his mentor, but has done some pretty revolting, like, makes me sick type stuff that's, like, words cannot describe the amount of, like, disgust I have. And it says a lot about Oda. It says a lot about, you know, just Shonen Jump and, you know, Shueisha and everything on this entire situation after all these details came out, and it's concerning. It is concerning, but we'll see where this interview goes on April 24th. We'll see what's said, etc. Do I think that history should be removed and basically say, oh, Oda never had a mentor that was Watsuki? I don't think history should be removed and that's never mentioned, but I don't think you should try to give a man a platform that has already done these things that he has done, if you get my point. Like I said, I'm trying to be vague on certain things because YouTube can't, you know, say it. So yeah, that's my thoughts, and I think it's just disgusting. I do, but I don't really know the full story. I don't think anyone is probably going to know the full story, but if there is one thing we do know, is that Shueisha is, at the very least, fine with him. That's the one thing we can at least get out of this. Besides just offers. Instead of blaming offers, we should just look at the higher-ups and how they are allowing that. That's my opinion. But I'm going to leave it at that. I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. If you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And with that, Chibi out.